How's it going, everyone? I'm going to show you an easy way to get a tire onto a beadlock wheel. So your first step is going to be to remove that outer ring if you already haven't. Once you have that done, figure out which side of the wheel, which side of the tire, sorry, you want to be on the outside. In this case, I want this side to face the outside. So I'm going to spray with soapy water the tire and the wheel. Once that's done, you're going to lay the tire on the wheel, and you're going to want this back bead to sit pretty close to the inside. Let me try to do this. A little bit underneath the lip right there. Once you have it sitting there, I'll have to redo it. Once it's sitting on there where you want it, there's a couple ways of doing it. You're going to want to put pressure down and forward. You can either jump on the tire with your knees or with your feet and really slam it. I'm going to do it with my feet. And it's on. What you want to do next is make sure that the wheel is centered and over the lip. Just like that. These are the new Yokohama Geolanders on race lines, 232 Monster Beadlocks, and it's a very, very clean fit. You don't have to wiggle it to center it or any of that. Next thing, I'm going to go get the ring and 4 bolts. Alrighty, so once you got your ring, you're going to place the ring and line it up with the holes and pick 4 corners. I'm doing my first corner where the race line emblem is. I'm going to put it in and thread each 4 corners in, just hand tight. Alright, once you have those 4 corners hand tight, you're going to get the rest of the bolts and slowly put them all in a little looser. So we're going to put all these in each one of the holes hand tight. Alright, now that we got all of them threaded in and started by hand, we'll grab a torque wrench and the right size socket. Depending on which beadlock you have, there are torque specs. For race lines, the finished torque spec is anywhere from 16 foot-pounds to 18 foot-pounds. So you're going to want to get a torque wrench that is able to go down that low. In this case, it's a 3/8, and it goes from 10 to 80 foot-pounds, so it's perfect. I'm going to set it at 16 for now, and eventually finalized I'm going to have them going all the way up to 17. But what we're going to do is tighten the first before you start tightening that, sorry, you want to make sure the outer ring is centered evenly. Since you haven't tightened any of them down, you can still move it around to get it centered. Looks like it's pretty centered right there. And I'm going to start tightening those 4 corners in a circular pattern. Go to the bottom. First starting out, you don't really have to worry about getting it too tight. You just want it to get nice and snug. The big thing with these is you don't want to over torque them. Alright, now that those 4 corners are tightened down in the position that we want this ring at, we're going to go ahead and bring all the rest of these flush, but not tight. Now that we have all the bolts flush and not torqued down yet, but our original 4 corners are set at 16 now, we're going to go back and torque them all to 16 in a crisscross pattern. How we're going to do that, do the top, your original starting point, directly across to the bottom. After the bottom, I like to go to the side. After this side, I like to go to that side, which were the original 4. After that, you're going to move one over, which is one away from the original starting point. Down to the bottom, one away from the original starting point. One away from the original starting point. Here. Then the third, 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 fourth, 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 fifth, 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 fifth. You continue to do that until you're around one complete time. Alright, so after you've made one complete pass, torquing all those first bolts, you're going to go back to your original one and you're going to realize that it's still loose, or it loosened back up. That's because after you keep going around, it's going to keep settling down and down. So what you're going to do is continue going back and forth. You're going to have to go around 2 or 3 times until you get back to the original bolt and it's still torqued at the setting that you want it to be. Continue doing it in the star pattern until all of them are at the required torque spec. So usually for me it takes around 3 passes, and then on that last pass I'll go to each one and just make sure they're all tight. The important thing is just to keep hitting them in that star pattern until they're all torqued down and finally settled. Now that we've torqued down our beadlock ring, we're going to have to turn the tire around and seat the rear bead, as you can tell. So what I like to do is get an air compressor. You can either take out your valve core, the valve stem. In some cases you don't have to. I haven't had to with the past 4 tires. So I'm going to hook up the air. It's not running yet. Get soapy water once again. Spray it all around the wheel and that inner bead. Once we do that, I'm going to start the airflow. Slowly watch and wait until this bead seats. And I like to keep spraying it just soapy so it can easily seat. You'll hear a loud pop or boom whenever it finally seats. So it's getting there. You don't want to exceed over 60, 70 psi when you're seating the bead. There we go. Inner bead is set. Alright, now that we have seated the bead, inflated the tire pressure to what we want to, last step is with the soapy water, spray along the beadlock and make sure you don't have any leaks. If you had any air leaks coming out the bolts or on the inside lip, you'd see that soapy water bubbling up. Also do it on the back bead. And no air leaks, so we are good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. There's a lot of different ways to mount beadlocks, but overall it's pretty simple. Good thing about beadlocks is you can do it yourself at home. You don't have to pay a shop to do it. Just a few easy tools, you can do it yourself. Alright, well, hope you learned something. Subscribe and check out the build on Instagram at @the_detonator. Thanks, guys.